I wanted to start back with this picture I had to browse from Facebook actually. So it's from 2005. That's my class in Tec de Monterrey when we were studying Spanish and studying design. I'm sorry. Well, what happened around that time is we were studying with Emiliano Godoy. I don't know if it rings a bell, but he's one very well-known designer in Mexico. He was already a very well-known designer back then. He was our teacher, and he was teaching about sustainability and design. That was the very first time that we heard about sustainability in that way. So he spoke about this carrying capacity of the planet and how whatever we do is having an impact on the environment, and then how careful we need to be when designing stuff. I think that was the right moment when we started understanding how design is right at the core of this very difficult paradox, where whatever we do, we have a negative impact on the environment. However, that's also what makes our life human. Another concept that is important for the concept of design and freedom is the assemblage. And this one is by Manuel de Landa. So he's speaking about a different way, I guess, of thinking complexity, where you can draw these imaginary boundaries around any kind of unit. So this unit is not one single element, but it is composed by different elements and the relationship between them. So in this case, I see this unit or new unit of study as the assemblage that happens between people, nature, and the human-built world, because sometimes the cultural heritage is also relevant to save or to modify it. And so if we understand any kind of context right now, right here, we can see that within the boundary we would like to draw, there are different elements and different relationships between them. So I started to conceive freedom, or the lack of freedom, as something that happens because of the relationships between that assemblage. So sometimes we can have the right to enjoy something because the right relationships are in place, but sometimes we are constrained precisely because of those relationships. So if you bring a new element to the assemblage or build different kinds of relationships within the assemblage, you could also bring about different kind of freedom. So this is the new or the way of conceiving co-design as I wanted to do it in this project. So of course, lots of it has to do with what was going on in the AutoLab project and how we were trying to bring in local people from the communities to be part of the design process, and then also many different actors. So what do we need for an AutoLab, or what did we need for it in Mexico? We needed first a context. And the context is the community called 20 de Noviembre, which is a Mayan community in Calakmul in the state of Campeche. So the precise brief is to make 20 de Noviembre a better place. So that was the overall aim of an AutoLab, to make the world a better place. But in this case, we are dealing with this little piece of the world. This is our initial assemblage. Then we have a network of participants, which throughout the years that show in 2012 to 2015, that's the network of participants who have taken part. Of course, it's much larger now because the project has continued until 2018, and it will continue still. So you can see designers in blue, lots of designers. That's part of what we think works. So if we spread designers throughout the whole network, the design methods flow more easily. And we also have all kinds of people around. So from engineers, from people who know about social policy, to lawyers, biologists, economists, a little bit of everything. And we also have documentation. So this is what happens. We see the design process as something we can divide into different phases. First, diagnosis, then conceptualization, implementation, and evaluation. However, each of these different phases is developed through the three different periods: a preparation period, a fieldwork period, and a reflection period. And this is mainly because this one is tied to students. So most of our participants are students in the three universities that Carla mentioned in the beginning. So Alto University, the National Autonomous University of Mexico, and Tecnológico de Monterrey. So we needed to break the design process into a way that we can also make it a pedagogical program. And this was the way to do it, 2 showers every day. We are also improving this system, and we know now, this is something that we learned this year, that if we created a filter that allowed us to have the water to the level of hardness, which is suitable for doing laundry, then they would have enough water for drinking the whole year. So the clue is in this thing. So nowadays, many of them tell that they might run out of water for a month or 2 months. So they have enough water in their tanks for the rest of the year. However, most of that water is being used nowadays for laundry, so not even for drinking. But because they do laundry the whole year, there's 2 months in the year they don't have water for drinking, and then when they don't have rainwater in their tanks, they go for the well water, which is polluted with the bacteria. So if we just manage to get water in sufficient quality for laundry, that would be enough. So, new finding. And then we have this architecture project, which is also related to the touristic industry that they have in the community. The expert observation of engineers, designers, and architects is that the traditional Mayan house is fading away. You can see in the right top image one of those traditional Mayan houses, and you can go see Ethnology Park in the Mayan Park. So this is the way they built the first houses in the community when it was founded 44 years ago. Then what happened is they started copying other kind of houses which were developing in the area. The area was populated by Polish people somewhere around the 40s who came to Mexico to exploit the mahogany in the area. So they created this Mexican mahogany company called Las Mexicanas, and they established in one of the biggest towns in Calakmul, Solamuna. So they built the houses to the traditional Polish style. So you can see that on the bottom right side of the screen. So it's wooden planks for the walls, and then you have the rooftop made of corrugated tin. And that works in Poland, and that worked all right in this very hot and humid region as well, because it was sufficient insulation. However, in order to do this, you need very, very high rooftops or ceilings. And what happened in this region is since people did not have enough money to buy that much material, they started to make them lower, to use less material. But when you make them lower, then it is not very good for insulation. So nowadays you see also some of those. And then you also see what we have on the right-hand lower corner, which is the new model of house, which is partly made of bricks and which has been done by a company. This one has actually got some awards, national awards for sustainable housing, because they bring the material so that local people make the bricks and then they build the houses. However, this model of house was designed for the community of Xpujil, which is like the capital of Calakmul. And we have very different kind of people living in there. So Calakmul has 82 different communities, and each of them is very different. We have people coming from 29 different states of Mexico living in Calakmul since it was established as a municipality not long ago. So each of those 82 communities are very different, at least culturally. So maybe this model of house worked all right in Xpujil, but it's not very, very good for 20 de Noviembre, where people are Mayan and they are used to sleeping hammocks. So they can't even hang a hammock from these walls in the community. So they're very suspicious. They are like, no, I don't think I'm going to hang my hammock in there because maybe the wall will come. But that's so far. As I tell you, the projects have become a lot more refined with time. Now we have always sub-projects within the projects. It seems that every time we go, we learn more and there's more to do, but we're happy going. Nowadays, we have Design Direction managing the projects. So Design Direction is our small Mexican NGO, and we are trying to have more of these kind of projects in Mexico. And a question that I normally get when we present a project is, how could we help, or how could we collaborate? And for the first time, I think I'm able to give a positive response. So we are starting a very similar project with a very similar methods, but this time we're not doing it with students, but with professionals, and we're doing it in Mexico City. It is within the context of World Design Capital, and it's going to take place within Canal Nacional.